Okay, I believe I'm live now. Okay, so today is a Sunday afternoon. I'm not working today, and I thought it might be fun to do a live stream dedicated to playing Tetris. Because I usually am talking about some depressing topic in my live streams, and I don't want that to be the only thing I do. And also, last year I bought a membership for StreamYard, which allows me to, broadcast my live streams to three destinations at the same time and remove the duck logo. So once my subscription ends, I will probably not renew it, not because I don't like StreamYard, but because I'm in debt and my finances are ruined, as I've talked about previously. So I don't know what's going to happen, but right now I'm still here. I have my apartment, and so I'm gonna play some games. I'm gonna be playing some Tetris, and I'm going to show you some of the different ways that I can play Tetris. And Tetris basically refers, to the famous game which almost everybody knows about, where you've got the tetrominoes, the falling blocks that you have to place and connect them into lines, and then the lines disappear. So I'm going to show you, I actually have multiple ways of playing Tetris. There are so many versions. There are versions that I haven't played because they require Java libraries and weird stuff that I can't even get running on my computer. But I do have a lot of versions of Tetris that do work. And I'm going to start by showing you my absolute favorite, Tetrio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to share my screen. If I share, I want to share my entire screen because that's the easiest way to do it. And okay, let's see. And it has the option to share the system audio, but I don't want that because I'm going to try to turn the audio off so that I can still talk about what I'm doing while I do it. So let's see. We have various options here. So whoa, infinity screen. Okay. So now I'm live streaming and I am sharing my screen. So let me show you. Here's my desktop. In case you can't tell, I'm obsessed with Tetris. I even made this little art thing. I made this in Inkscape where I arranged the Tetris blocks to fit together like that. But over here, one of my icons, now I have Tetris Worlds, I have Tetrio, I have the mobile version of Tetris as well that runs through the BlueStacks emulator. Sometimes it loads and sometimes it doesn't. I probably won't be doing the mobile version today just because it's so finicky and it doesn't work when I try to get it to run. But, maybe. We'll see. But Tetrio is probably my favorite way to play Tetris, and I will show you some reasons why, okay? So I'm going to load it up, and let's see here. I'm going to show you how this works. So it logs me in. I actually have an account here. Where I have an account that keeps track of my plays. I'm level 52, whatever that means. I have a rating for multiplayer online. My best time for 40 lines sprint was 1 minute and 12 seconds and 18 milliseconds there. And my highest score for the 2-minute blitz was 118,982. So those are some of my scores. And so, and when I do that, it shows this in this tab here. Yeah, so it's cool. And one of the reasons I like Tetrio is because it has replays. So I want to show you some replays, okay, if I can. So it keeps track of little replays of your best plays here. So the 40-line sprint is where you try to clear 40 lines as fast as you possibly can. So I'll show you what my best time was. Maybe I'll even beat it today. Who knows? It's weird how this works though. Okay, so I'm going to try to get it to show me the replay of the 40-line sprint I did. So we're going to watch the replay here. And this is a replay of when I previously tried to go as fast as I could and clear them lines. But now I was actually going pretty fast. This is my best time I've ever achieved. What you'll notice here is I make mistakes because I was in such a hurry to do this that I made a lot of mistakes and I placed pieces where I didn't want to. But when you have, in order to get the best times, you literally have to place, 3 or 4 or even maybe 5 or 6 pieces per second. That's how fast you have to be. Because I've been wanting to be able to do 40-line sprint in under a minute, but I've never achieved it. I came close, 1 minute and 12 seconds, but I want to get it under a minute. So that is basically me trying to play fast. And a few times I was just so confused, I did hesitate. And so it's really hard to play fast in that. I'm not that good, at least not yet. But that is the full replay of my 40-line sprint. And as you can see, it gives stats. So I placed 1.42 pieces per second. So I did faster than 1 per second, but I really want to up it to at least 2 per second. And look at how many keys keys per second. I was pressing keys for almost 5 times per second, and lines per minute is 33.32. But I want to get the entire 40 lines under a minute. Once I can do that, I will be satisfied. Now I can consistently do it in 1 minute and 20 seconds or less. I'm getting pretty consistent unless I screw things up. But also, what I could also show you, let me see here, because what I'll do is I want to show you my replay. Let me check and make sure everything's still going. Yep, everything's still going fine with the stream. So I want to show you the replay of my 2-minute blitz, and I achieved this 7 days ago. And this is really cool. I'm going to show you the replay of my personal best time here. And this one is amazing. First of all, look at the stats of this one. This was very strange because I had 15 T-spins in this run, and a maximum combo of 3 and a maximum back chain was 15. It was my best thing. So I will show you the replay of this just so you can get an idea of what I'm capable of here. And also I want to talk about this method I'm using. The official name for this play style that I was using in this replay that I'm showing you, this is called the mechanical T-spin double version 2. There is a version 1 and there is a version 3 besides this one, which is version 2. The version 1 is too complicated and I don't even understand it. I don't understand it at all. It's so bizarre and so complicated, and I don't know if I'll be able to learn it. It would be nice if I could though, because it looks impressive, but it's hard to find videos on it. Now, what you'll notice about this playthrough is notice how it forms these lines and colors as pieces are completely pure. And see what I did with that long block with the I block there, how I rotated at the bottom. Well, there was actually a reason for that, but I don't know if it worked out successfully or not. Because the idea was to use some long blocks there to clear a Tetris. See, like that? The idea was that if I cleared a Tetris there, I would then be able to lower the playing field just enough so that I could then have more room to do even more T-spin doubles there. And as you see, it actually worked out pretty good. But then I screwed up and did not continue with what I wanted to continue. And I feel bad about that because if I had placed that in the correct spot, I may have had enough time to pull off maybe another one or even two T-spin doubles. So the thing is, there were 15 T-spin doubles, but I want to do better than that. I want to be able to do 16 or 17 T-spin doubles, and I want to be able to do that within the 2 minutes blitz. But I want to show you something. Before I try to break my record, my previous record, I want to show you something incredible. So, okay, here we are. Yeah, my streaming is still working. That's nice. So now, let me go back to the main screen. What I like about Tetris, and this is an advantage it has over other versions of Tetris, is Zen Mode. Now, Zen Mode is a special thing because it's where you can start and stop at any time. This is sort of a practice mode. And look at this. See how the blocks fall. The Zen Mode has all these adjustments. You can change the gravity to off or sub-zero. And yeah, no sub-zero is no gravity and infinite movement. Okay, so I'm going to restart. Now I am playing Tetris in Zen Mode, but I have infinite time to place the blocks. So I'm going to very slowly show you the method. Now, what I'm about to show you is going to be very complicated here. Well, not too complicated. It's still not as bad as version 1 or version 3 of the mechanical T-spin double. And I didn't invent this, by the way. There's wiki articles on multiple wiki sites. There are videos on YouTube that you can learn more about these methods. But this is my own specific section of this live stream dedicated to understanding this, my favorite T-spin double method that I showed you in that previous replay. Now, this only works if you get the T block early. First thing you want to do is you want to place this down there. I press the space bar to drop that. And then I place this here. Now this has to go on top of the O block, which is the yellow square type block. So I have to press C to hold this piece. Now I know that this is going to go here. And technically there's more than one way to do it. It's also possible to do it with the eyepiece on the right side of the screen, but I prefer to have it on the left side. I'm just weird, I don't know why, but that's the way I like it. It just feels better to me, so that's my preference only. And then I have to place the O block right here. And then you see this needs to fit right over here, meaning that the order in which you place the pieces is important when you do this, which means this would not work if you didn't have the hold feature. But all modern versions of Tetris do have the hold features. Now I'm going to place this, and you see how there's a nice little spot for that there? That's basically how it works, and that's the first bag, basically. Well, actually, technically, this is what it looks like after the first bag. Now, you have to understand that modern Tetrises use what's called the 7-bag system, where every 7 pieces are randomized, but they're guaranteed to contain one of each of the 7 types of pieces. So you see, we have the cyan I block, the blue L block, I believe it's called, or is it the J? I get so confused with these. We have the red Z block, the purple T block. The T block is always purple. And then we have the green S block, which is on top of the yellow O block. And then we have, I believe that's technically the L block. The orange one is the L, and the blue is the J. That you can look this up on the wiki and just check my facts there. But see, one of each of those 7 pieces in place. So that's the first deck, and it has to be set up like this. And this does not work unless you get the T block to be placed in that exact position before the blue or the red pieces. You have to do that for the first bag, otherwise it completely fails and you can't pull it off. So it's a risky gamble. But once that has been done, here's how it works. So you basically continue the process, but then here's how it works. We're going to be placing this, and then what we have here is, see, this has to be placed on top of the O block every single time. So whenever I have the S block before the O block, remember the O block is the yellow 4 square one, I have to press hold, and that gives me this red block. And so this can be placed there, that can be placed there, and then this, now I can't hard drop it, see, it can't be hard drop, that doesn't work. So it has to be dropped like that, and then placed there. That's called the soft drop, even though it happens very fast. I configured it that way to be fast, actually. Now, see how we have this T block? This is how it works. Put this down here, rotate it, space, hard drop it. That's how you do a T-spin double. I've done one T-spin double. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try some interesting things. Now, this is where I'm going to place this on top of there. We can place that, and then we can place this. You see, once you start the pattern, you basically continue the same pattern. Now remember, the purple block that was placed at the very bottom, you only have to do that once, but all other T blocks go like this. Down there, rotate it. You can even rotate it multiple times if you want to be extra fancy and show off. And then press space. Because remember, I'm in zero gravity mode, and so that's what it does, is that it gives me infinite rotations and stuff. So now this T block has nowhere it can be done. I can't do the T-spin double. So what I have to do here is I have to switch it with this, place that, then switch back to the T block, and then do that, drop it, and that. And see how when I do this, it says T-spin double, and it says back-to-back times 2. That's because when you repeatedly do a T-spin or a Tetris, it counts as back-to-back. So I remember I have infinite time to place these pieces. So let's see what is the highest back-to-back I can get when I do this. And because I already know the pattern, this should not be too hard to pull off. But I have to do the pattern, because if you do one misdrop, if you do even one of these wrong, then the whole system fails. So that's why this is probably not a reliable strategy to use in multiplayer. This is meant for high scoring and single player. And because of the fact that all I have to do is press R and retry when I screw up, this is perfect for Tetris, but it also works in other versions of Tetris, obviously. Any of the modern ones. This doesn't work in Game Boy or NES Tetris, but it has a different system for the pieces. Okay, so now see, this can't go on here because that doesn't create the right spot for the T block. So it's common whenever you get a green piece too early, you have to press C for hold, because that's the standard key combination. Okay, we place this, we'll place this, and we place this, place the green piece, then press do the purple. Level complete. Ooh. Oh yeah, see, you in Zen mode there are levels. It's weird. So now I'm level 16, and I don't know what that actually means. But I can still continue with this basic piece system. So I'm going to go a little bit faster, because I think anybody watching the video up to this point probably gets the basic idea of what I'm doing. And so here's the thing. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to drop this down here, and we're going to do that. Now I can continue the pattern here, but we're going to place that, place this, And you see, I'm still continuing the pattern. Yes. Now see this. Look at this. This is why I'm in zero gravity mode. And the back-to-back counter was apparently reset because of the level up there. But look at this. You see how on the left there is not enough space on the screen to place this? Now it can be placed, but it doesn't completely fit. It makes much more sense at this point to bring it down here and place it there. And that's because I'm going to try to pull off the Tetris. That's what I'm going to try to do. So, as you see, this pattern can go on for a relatively long time. However, it cannot go on forever. And do you know why? Because have you noticed that both sides of the screen keep getting taller? Yeah, that's kind of what happens after you do this for a while. So, what are we going to do about this? Well, first of all, I'm going to place that there. Do that. We can continue. Now, there is enough space to do that there, so I will place that there because it did in fact fit. Okay. Now we place this. Our screen's full. This is crazy, man. And now that can go there. And this can go there. But now we're going to do a Tetris there, you see? And now I can still continue the pattern for a little bit. Okay. Okay, yes, that will work. And that will also work. But you see the problem we face now? Look at this. This will no longer be a T-spin double. It can't be. And the reason it can't be is simply because there will only appear one line because there is not an I block there. And so this is where the pattern starts to fail, as you see. You can continue the pattern for a while, but at this point it fails. So what happens here? What should I do? Well, I'm still going to do the T-spin. Check that out. It works, but we saw this at the line. So now it broke the back-to-back chain, I believe, because now I have to do that single line. But it's still worth it, and here's why it's worth it. Because, as you may notice, we can continue the pattern and still pull off a few more T-spins, even though the chain was sort of broken. So here's the point: is this gets increasingly hard because usually what happens if you're not playing in Zen mode, then it keeps getting faster, and eventually you screw up and misdrop a piece, or you run out of time. If you're playing in the time mode, like the 2-minute blitz. So what this basically means is, let's see, okay, now, you see, look, see, even in zero gravity mode, that cannot actually go there. So what am I going to do? See, it can't go over there now. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to put this down here. We can still pull off another T-spin double. We can continue the pattern for a little bit. Now that can go there. Yeah. And you see, it broke. The system broke now because of the fact that I topped out even on the zero gravity mode because it got too high. So that's what happens. So here's what I need to do. First, I do need to use the restroom. But then I want to show you in action what happens here when I actually do the 2-minute blitz, because then I'm under time pressure and I can't explain it. So I went super slow through Zen mode to show that. Now let me see if I have any comments. Nobody is watching or cares about my Tetris live stream apparently. So I'm still going to record it for my own documentation purposes as I try to break new records. So I'm going to use the restroom, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do some 2-minute blitz to show you how this works. Okay, it is time for some 2-minute blitz. 2-minute blitz is probably one of the most fun modes because it's not just about being fast, it's about trying to score as high as you can in that time. So I'm going to show you how it's like. That's what my best score was before, but I want to break it. I want to break this today if I can. It's going to be 100. Yeah, I want it to be 120,000 or more for my next score. So let's try this. I'm going to try this, and we'll see how it goes. I can't really talk while I'm concentrating. Like this completely uses every aspect of my brain. Oh, let's see, I screwed it up. See, that's the problem. It's something always screwed it up. Oh crap. See, that is a bad example because it did not work out as I had hoped it would. It just didn't go very well. So, yeah, I'll try doing something a little bit different there because this takes all of my concentration. Yeah, and I need to get an early key piece. Yeah. That was crazy. Did you see how crazy that was? I got really high up the screen there. That was just wrong, man. That was just completely insane. And the thing is, I have done better before, as you saw in the replay, but I don't always do that well. I panic when I'm doing this. This is crazy, man. I was doing pieces per second was 1.05, and I've done much faster in the past. This is kind of hard to pull off. So I want to see if there's a way I can improve this. Because I have an idea, and I don't know if it'll work. It's extremely risky, but let's try it. I'm going to try it. Okay. Oh, but I still need to get my proper start. That failed miserably. That just completely failed, man. That was crazy. Yeah, okay, let's get out of that. See, that did not work as well as I had hoped. I had this plan I was going for, but the idea was to lower the stack a little bit and then do some more T-spin doubles. That's something that I'll probably have to practice on my own, but it just didn't go well. But I don't want to show you only Tetria for this live stream. I want to show you some other versions of Tetris that are also impressive. So I'll show you, now Tetrio can run in a web browser, but there's another one that runs in a web browser called JSTris. Okay, so I'm going to go there. Now JSTris is interesting because it has different modes. It has live, it has sprint, it has whatever Tetris is. It has various other modes. See, there's survival. Like I guess you try to survive as much as you can. There's ultra. There's so many different modes here, different kinds of practice, and there's so many. But what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you perhaps. I know. I'll show you a 40-line sprint. Okay. The idea is I'm just going to place these as fast as I can, and as you see, this is still Tetris. It just doesn't have quite as fancy of graphics, but that doesn't really matter. The point, it's just place down pieces as fast as I can, and I'm actually not doing too good. I have to be so much faster than that. This won't be a record, but I really tried. Now that was 1 minute and 22 seconds, which was not bad. I've done better than that before. But that's an example. This is JS-Tris. You can do all kinds of crazy things like that. Now, I actually don't know what live mode is, so let's see what happens, what this is like. Let's see live mode. What is this? What is this about? Wait until the round ends. What's even happening in live mode? I don't know what live mode is. Should I wait until the round ends? I wonder if this is like oh wait, is this like multiplayer with like Tetris 99 style? Okay, let's see what this is like. Yeah, I want to see what this is like here, because this could be very interesting. Actually, you know what? I'm not so much into multiplayer. I want to show you some other things. You've seen that there is JS-Tris. You can try it out. It doesn't seem quite as cool as Tetrio, in my opinion, but I also haven't tested it out as much. Now, what I'll show you next is I'm going to show you my Steam collection of games here. So, if I open up Steam, I have more than one version of Tetris on Steam. In fact, I guess there are 3 versions of Tetris that I have on Steam. So there's Puyo Puyo Tetris, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, and Tetris Effect Connected. Now, the thing with Puyo Puyo Tetris 1 and 2 is that they're both very similar, and I've earned achievements here. But they have different storylines. But the actual gameplay is still going to be pretty much the same. So there's not much difference. So I'll just show you Puyo Puyo Tetris, the original, the first game in the series. So I'm going to launch it, and let's see if it works. Let's see if it still works correctly here. Okay, I think it'll load sometime soon. I hope. Okay, there it is. Yeah, here it is. Here it is on my screen. So here's what it's going to be. Ooh, we got music. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example of this. Well, actually, I will leave the music on. I don't know if my live stream will pick it up or not. But let's go to Solo Arcade. Solo Arcade is where you just have traditional one-player Tetris here. So I'll go to Challenge. And here is, okay, there's Sprint, Marathon, and Ultra. So I'm going to try Ultra. I'm going to play some Ultra. And there's different characters you can select. And it doesn't make any difference as far as gameplay, Tetris, but I like the music of Puyo Puyo Tetris. So let's just try this. Now, the soft drop speed is so much slower in this version of Tetris that it's really hard to do the same things I can do in Tetrio. And there's no pure hard drop method. Actually, I'll turn my speaker off, which will basically turn off the music anyway, because the microphone's going to pick up the speaker. But as you see, the same method I was using, my mechanical T-spin double version 2 method, still works in any version of Tetris, really. But it's hard to do it as fast because the soft drop speed can't be customized to be extra fast in most versions the way it can be in Tetrio. That being said, it's still probably one of the coolest ways to get high scores there. Okay. And that's the thing about it, is there's still a time limit. This is basically still a well, I think it's actually a 3 minute time limit instead of 2 minutes. So I don't know. More might be possible, but it's really hard to say. As you see, this method for doing repeated T-spin doubles is actually pretty cool. Ooh, I topped out. I got a score of 24,448 before I topped out. You see it works, but you have to be careful because if you don't do it just right, well, then you end up having a problem where it just you top out. So it's dangerous. It's high scoring, but it's also dangerous. But now let me show you something else. Okay, let's go to the main menu and then let's exit out here Tetris. I basically loaded up just so I get awesome music while I play single player Tetris. But it also has like a multiplayer mode. It also has a story mode where you have NPCs that you have to battle, and not just Tetris, but also Puyo Puyo, which is an entirely different puzzle game. But they can merge it with Tetris in a really stupid way. Now, Tetris Effect connected. Let me make sure my live stream is still going. Yeah, it's still going. Okay. Now, this is Tetris Effect connected. Perhaps this is the most wild of the versions of Tetris. It has crazy graphics. It has graphics. It also has amazing music, but I won't really be using the audio in this because that's more where I just record a standard video to upload. But this is a live stream, so this is sort of a demonstration where I explain things about it. Now, this is kind of a funny idea. So I'm going to do something. Now, Tetris Effect Connected has a really, really crazy feature. Tetris Effect Connected does something that no other version of Tetris does. Now, I want to show this off, and let's see. Let's try normal difficulty. Now, this first stage, deep, is totally cool, but the stages have different graphics and different music, which doesn't matter for us. I'm just going to go with the first stage. So here's what we have. Now, I'll show you something. Now look at this. I want to show you basically. I know. Okay. Actually, I have an idea. Okay, let's do this. Let's try. Yeah, I'm going to do something a little bit bizarre here. This is not going to make all that much sense at first, but I'm going to show you something now. That's a T-spin double, but then, okay, I'm going to do this. And right now, what I'm trying to show you is this is the mechanical T-spin double version 3, and it's hard to get it to work. You have to have the right piece combination. But check this out. I just pulled off another T-spin double, but then okay, so I'll put that there. This is actually really cool. So I do this, but then the way this works is there's going to be one stack there. You always place the square block on the taller stack, and you continue something similar here. And then see, this has to go down here, but then rotate it under there. And then the long block goes to the shorter one, fill in that gap. You keep alternating which order they go in. It doesn't make sense. You probably need to look at the wiki to truly understand what's happening with this method. But as you see, I have done 4 T-spin doubles here. So I do know this method fairly well. It's just not exactly the easiest thing to pull off. But at least I got to show you in this live stream. So I've done 5 T-spin doubles, which appeared 10 lines so far. And okay, we'll place that there, place that there, and I'll continue with the pattern. Time for our next T-spin double. Yeah, isn't this just crazy? Like, but I'm going to do the T-spin double, and then continue with the pattern there. Oh man, this pattern is so funny looking. The problem with these T-spin double setups is you see the stack keeps getting higher and higher. Now you'll notice that there's something called the zone here. And the zone is a special new feature introduced in Tetris Effect Connected that did not exist in any previous version of Tetris. And it gives you a chance to, for a limited time, you can slow time down and try to clear as many lines during that time as you can manage. This method is also particularly slow because it requires a lot of soft dropping, even more than the other method. Which is partly why I don't really use this method very often. But as you see, we've done some incredible things. Okay, time for the next one. And notice the stage it ends after I clear 36 lines. So here's the thing is, I don't actually want to clear 36 lines using this method, or the stage would end and it would screw up my example of what I want to show you. Because the point is not just the T-spin double method, but I want to show you something really cool once my zone meter fills up again. I don't know if I'll be skilled enough to pull off what I'm trying to do, but I'm certainly going to try. Okay. Okay. Now this is where I have to change strategies. So I'm going to place some pieces, then I have to do I pressed A to start up the zone, and you'll notice that I am continuing to clear lines, but they're not straight. I did 6 zone, the zone twist or whatever, so I cleared 6 lines, which is not very impressive. That's actually not very impressive at all, but I did get to show you at least that cool T-spin double setup. But I actually probably could do a lot better than that. In fact, I know what I'll do. Let me clear this level. Okay, yeah, clear that level, but then I want to show you doing the same thing. Okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to quit, and then I want to restart. I want to go back to that stage and see if I can pull off the previous method with the version 2 of the mechanical T-spin double. But I need to, see, the problem is it's not easy to restart this. It's not easy to restart this. So it requires me to exit and go to the menu, and then go back and say if I want to restart because I need the early key piece here. Okay, no, it doesn't work. I don't have the pieces I need. So see, that's why I like Tetrio, because I'm trying to, the mechanical T-spin double is not a consistent play style. It's really not, because it only works if you're lucky. But the method I use for the script where I try to do 40 lines as fast as I can, I'm good at it, but I'm just placing pieces as fast as I can. But this is where it gets interesting. Oh, I see the T piece is just so not there to start. I need the T piece early on in order for this to work. So this is not consistent multiplayer at all by any means. Okay. So here we have this. We have this. Now we have a piece. So we're going to do this method here that I was showing you previously. It still works, but you got to get that early key piece or it all falls apart really quick. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing basically. We're going to continue the pattern and fill the zone meter first by clearing some T-spin doubles. Any lines you clear count towards filling up your zone meter. And then you press the A key, and then you enter the zone, and then you want to clear as many lines during that limited time. You get a few seconds of zone time, and then the more lines you clear during that time, the higher score you get, and it's just amazing when that happens. So, continuing the pattern here. And actually, this method is going to probably work out better for us than the previous method, just because of the simple fact that when you have this 3-wide well, they call that a well because it looks like a well, you know, it's a big hole. Okay, so we got that, we got that, we got that, we got that. Yeah. My zone meter takes a really long time to fill up. I probably will not be able to get it all the way filled up. Probably not. It would take more lines than this to accomplish that. But let's try this. Okay, we got that, that. Now we got space to put another long one there. Well, the zone meter is half full, which is not bad. Double that, that, that. Now we have to place that there. Things are getting pretty high. This is unfortunately very dangerous. So check this out. Watch what I'm about to do here. I'm going to clear that, and now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to enter zone. We're going to zone. Yes. I did 15 zone lines that time. That was better. I once did like 19. I wasn't as lucky this time as I would have liked, unfortunately. But I have done 18 and 19 before. But that's basically an introduction to how the zone meter works. You get massive scores for clearing a lot of lines during the zone time. So that's basically Tetris Effect Connected offers a whole new style of gameplay where you try to you increase your score that way. And of course, if you're playing multiplayer, you can also send a lot of lines to your opponent if you do that full zone mode. It's it's nice. It also slows time down. So if you're on a difficult level and the pieces are moving too fast for you at the time, you can slow time down by entering your zone temporarily. It's a survival method. So that's it. I showed you Puyo Tetris. I showed you, Tetris Effect Connected. I showed you Tetrio and JS Stress. And those are the top 4, in my opinion, of the Tetris versions out there. Now, Tetris 99, which is on the Nintendo Switch, is also cool, but I can't record videos because it's not on the computer. So that's basically my methods of practicing Tetris, and obviously I really like playing Tetris. There's no denying that. I have a lot of videos on my YouTube channel, but now you get some of the behind the scenes footage for what the process actually looks like as I'm practicing Tetris. So that might be helpful to some Tetris players out there because I showed off 2 mechanical T-spin methods, but they, it's risky because you have to get certain pieces at the start in a certain order. But if somebody wants a consistent play style, it's just going to take practice. Now, I will tell you this. There was a special challenge in Facebook Tetris. Now, Facebook Tetris, which I did not show in this video, is weird, but it is built into Facebook. If you go to facebook.com and you search Tetris in the search bar built within Facebook, you can find the Tetris instant game where you can get a high score on that and challenge your friends. But it has a challenge where you have to reach level 5 by clearing only Tetrises. So keep in mind that you start at level 1 and you level up every time that you do 10 lines. That's the standard procedure for marathon mode. So to get to level 5, you have to clear 40 lines using only Tetris clears. So clearing 4 lines at a time, 10 times. Because 40 lines would basically level you up 4 times, you get level 5. So here's the thing. The fastest possible way to clear 40 lines, which is hard, and it's not always fast, but it can be done, is where you use only Tetris clear. You just build up your surrounding area and then you clear 4 lines at a time. If you do that consistently, you will get a high score. However, the mechanical T-spin methods do have a use for getting high scores because of one simple fact. You can get very high scores for doing the T-spin doubles. They do about the same score as a Tetris clear. So you can clear fewer lines to get the same score, and that's the advantages of T-spins. But they have the downside that you can't do hard drop and a T-spin at the same time, so it slows you down. But to compensate, you can get some pretty good scores if you are skilled at doing them quick enough, which I'm obviously not. But there's a lot you can do. The more you practice Tetris and try different techniques, you can get some crazy high scores. So that's been my Tetris screen for the day.